to talk about how to handle, pets with a manual lens, because all Lensbaby lenses are manual. There's no autofocus. We're going to talk about nature photography, which is, I use as my meditation and client sessions with a Lensbaby. So hope that sounds interesting to you guys. All right. So with pets I have moved on to lifestyle shooting. It is so relaxing. It is fun. The cats love it, or pretty much all animals love it. Basically, I'm a cat shooter. I'm in my 40s. I'm that crazy cat lady. So I admit it now. Basically, here's some really good tips. Get on their level. Shoot a lot. Use toys and treats. Let the pets smell a camera and let them smell you. You got to feel the energy and do not overindulge your welcome. You got to bend the composer just a little bit and then close down your aperture until you are comfortable. A lot of patience and love. So, it's pretty much just a lot of calm, patience, and relax. I mean, seriously, it's just like being a cat taking a nap, but with your camera. I like to describe it like that. And then you get some cool shots. So when you see a shot, take it. If it's not working out, then it's just not gonna work out. And you just have days like that. So like, this day he's sitting there by the piano and I'm like, oh my God, you're so cute. So I have to go. He's looking out the window, like at probably birds in the bushes. I'm going to grab my camera. And then like the next minute I get this beautiful shot of him and it looks like he's posing, but he wasn't, he was just probably looked up at a bird flying up out of the bush. So I just got really lucky. And that's how literally it works. And so another really good tip is angles, light, and point of view make images into stories. And the Lensbaby lens help bring the focus to your subject matter in a creative and beautiful way. So it's like all the blur and like the Omni wand. The Omni wand, I don't know if you can see like all that sweet light and crystal blur above her head. I mean, it just looks like magic. So otherwise it'd just be a cat sleeping if you're like standing above her and trying to take a picture of her. But it's the angle and the light and the point of view that make this into a story. Does somebody have a question in the chat? No. Okay, got it.
No, not yet.
Okay, got it.
I think there are a few of us here that we could just call them out if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so pets are keepers of the best light. So just let them teach you how to use the light and shadow. A cat especially can find the most beautiful light puddle and take full advantage of it. So just follow them around. I mean, like she just went on up there and just sat in the light to get her little suntan. I mean, it's not really a suntan, but I mean, it's just, I always get the best pictures when it's, late in the day and golden hour and she just looks for the light. So I use the Omni crystal wands and I'm going to introduce them in a little while, but I use the Omni crystal wands a lot and they're a lot of fun to use. I mean, I'm sure you can probably see her reflection underneath her just slightly, and you just use that right underneath the camera lens, and I'll show you how I did this. Whoops. And like I totally don't, I'm out of the box with the Omni as well. I don't use it like most Lensbaby users use this, but that's me. But So like this is a wand. Can everyone see this? Hopefully everyone. Can you see like this wand?
Yes,
Can you see this,
if you want to
Marianne?
see it, I can see it. Yes, if you want to see it
Okay.
more closely, you can do side by side with the speaker view, and you could just see Beth right
Can you see my
now.
camera?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So like I would just stick this like right under one of the wands, like right under my camera, and try to get the reflection of my subject. And that would work for me if I was trying to do reflections. Now I might not use this exact wand, but it's the first one that I found just now. So that's why I grabbed it. Anyway, so that's how I achieved the reflection there on that image. All right, and then here's another one. Now this one I used a different Omni, and I'm not sure I have it with me. Some of these I do. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see that. Can you see that?
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, this is called a stretch wand, and it is really cool, and it stretches out your image, and so it looks like the cat. I mean, she's just kind of like everything is all stretched out, and she's just kind of missing almost. And I just thought it was just the neatest illusion. So, plus the light hitting her face. So anyway, this also works really neat on landscapes because you can be taking the photo and the landscape on one side, either up or down. You can use it either this way or this way. You can have it all stretched out either that way or that way. So it's just really cool. Or, I mean, you can do it any way you want to do it. I mean, this is your art, but it's just so neat to see everything all stretched out. This is a neat one. And I use it a lot.
What is that one called?
This is called the stretch wand.
Stretch wand.
Yeah, and it does exactly what it says. And so here's another cat series. And I don't know if you guys are noticing. So I'm stuck on the Edge 35. I'm using the Edge 35 a lot. It's my go-to. Edge 35. This one is the Velvet 56. Edge 35. All of these are, I think, this is a Twist 60. The couple is the Twist 60, and these two are the Velvet 56. So most of these I'm going to be on all of these today on this slide are going to be an edge or a velvet. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Just because this year was what I used. I tried to only use a couple of lenses throughout the year, and it just happened to be the Edge 35 and I used the Velvet 56 this year. And so that's what we're.
Hey, Beth.
Yes.
Two things. One, can you open your screen all the way because we only see part of the picture? Like
this is all the way.
Oh, that's full screen? Okay. And then Michael wanted to know, can you explain the difference between the Edge and the Velvet?
Wait a minute, hang on. Now I've whoops. I don't know what it's. Let me go back to the.
Yeah, the slide.
Yeah, this is all the way.
Okay, that is okay. So the difference between the Edge and the Velvet.
Okay, so the Edge gives a. Let me give you the way that Lensbaby describes it. The Edge gives a slice of focus from edge to edge, bordered by soft blur. It's like selective focus. It's almost like a tilt shift. And the velvet gives a velvety glow and tack sharp details. It's like an ethereal edge to edge glow effect across any image. Get your glow on. But like, it depends on what your aperture is. So let's say like this one, I don't shoot animals at like f1.6 because I wouldn't be able to get them in focus. They're moving too much and that kind of thing. So I'm opening it up to like f4 or f5.6 because they're moving and I need to get them in focus. So this is at f4 and I can get them in focus, but there's so much creamy bokeh and glow in a velvet. I just love it. Now that one of, let me see, this one here, that one was stopped down probably to 2.8, I would say. This one, f4 for sure. Do you see my Marianne, can you see my cursor?
Yes.
Okay, this one definitely f4, but this one here and this one here, I stopped down to either 1.8. I'm not sure. But I definitely stopped down. He's too glowy. So that is the difference. And the on the edges, this is an edge. Yeah, edge 35. And they're not large enough to see, but yeah, unfortunately, maybe on one of, let me see if there's another, no.
It definitely gives you an edge. You can.
Yeah. Okay. So from like here, like you can see the floor and her, but this is going to be clear all the way across here. Oh yeah. Okay. So the field of slice of focus is all the way across. And it's blurry all up here. And it's very dark down here, but you see it's blurry because you can see the light.
Does that help, Michael?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And then yeah, I mean, this one, and for the edge 35, I'm usually shooting at, I believe it's 3 point, I can't remember exactly what the f stops are. I'd have to look that up. I'm shooting wide open on these, but it's not like a velvet. A velvet goes down to 1.6. So, and you can be very, very glowy. It's pretty cool. Okay, so this one, okay, like this is an edge 50 and I missed. So the edge 50 here, like, and I'm wide open on this. It's right here, like it goes across here, like you can see, but her eye is not in there, but this one is. So it's going across here, but I can't help it. I love this picture of her. See, this is another, I said this in the last Zoom meeting that we had. Sometimes you miss, it could be somebody's opinion that you miss, but I love this picture of her because she has that tilted head and she's looking so sweetly, and I don't care that this is out. This is perfect for me. So anyway, so post pets, like I used to do a lot of posing with her. She loved to sit in front of the camera and pose, and I would just give her treats and lots of patience and lots of time, and I would let her lead the shoot, and we would sit in her little seat, and I would just listen to her energy. And some days I would get lots and lots of pictures of her, and sometimes I would not get very many. But anyway, so this is a posed image, I would say. So anyway, so it is possible to do posed images of cats with a Lensbaby. And this is wide open with an Edge 50.
I actually took all 4 of my cats with the Edge Lensbaby
Yeah.
because of that edge. And I'm looking up at their pictures. You could just see that straight edge come across, and the rest of them is soft.
Yep. Here's another. This is another. You can really see the edge. That slice of focus that's going from here up to here. It's another very good example of the edge, wide open and an adorable fat cat. So yeah, I mean, the Edge 35, I think right now is my favorite. So people are, you know, like, oh, geez, well, I don't have a Lensbaby, so which one should I get? You know, like, I have no clue. Well, I mean, you gotta make a decision on like your budget. I mean, it's a hard decision. It's they have so many lenses. There's just so many. So this is not a question easily answered at all. There's so many effects. There's the velvet effect. There's the edge effect. There's the sweet effect. There's the swirl effect. There's the obscura effect. And, you know, there's the Omni. Now the Omni, you can get an Omni, that's the crystals, and you can use that on your current lenses. You don't have to have, you know, you don't need to have necessarily have a Lensbaby lens to use the Omni. So the velvet, I explained earlier with that, you know, the effect that does, and also the edge. Now the sweet has a what that does. That has a, hang on a second here. That has a sharp focus and around the subject and around like sweet spot, and then it's surrounded by a soft blur out to the edges. And then the twist, did I miss that? I missed that here. We also have the twist. That's my favorite. Why did I miss? Oh, no, swirl. That has an appealing subject to background separation with a petzval like swirly bokeh. I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's just like my favorite. And then with that, like, is the burn side, which is the 35 millimeter. The twist is 60 millimeter. The burn side is 60 millimeter. The burn side is 35 millimeter, but it's got the same swirly bokeh like look, but it's just got the more wide angle field of view, and it has an adjustable effect slider, so it has like a vignette like look. So, you know, it's just a lot to look at. The edge comes, there's 3 in the edge series. There's the 35 millimeter, the 50 millimeter, and the 80 millimeter.
You want all of them.
You want all of them. I mean, you just want all of them. I mean, you do. You just need them all. Now, the thing is when you go, and the thing is, you just need to go on to lensbaby.com, because you can look at all the effects. There's photos of, you know, showing everything of what every lens does, examples of what every lens does, if it'll fit on your camera. You know, some of them might not fit on your camera. It depends on what you have. So I do have a sheet. It's like this, I don't know, 5 pages long of like cameras, and the list is, whether whether each lens can fit on a camera or not. So it's just, it's a lot. If you want to know if it'll go on your camera, the best thing to do is go onto lensbaby.com. That one is, it's a new lens. It came out last year. And it is it's like a pinhole. It is a pinhole zone. And you can get it on any camera. So there's a standalone 50 millimeter pinhole and the 16 millimeter pinhole. So you just have to figure out which camera you have and then go onto lensbaby.com and then find where your camera lies. So I know there was another question about, do they make an adapter like for Nikon and Canon, and can I use the lens on another camera? Okay, this is, Lensbaby doesn't actually sell an adapter, but I know that there are people who can get adapters. So as far as adapters go, there are adapters out there for certain lenses. I'm not versed on it, so I'm not the right person. I have a Nikon and I've stuck with the Nikon. I have a Nikon crop and a Nikon full frame, and I can use all the lenses on my crop and my full frame, and I haven't had to use that. But I have seen in the chats online people getting an adapter. It's from a third party, and people say what they need to do is they have to go into their settings and they have to say something to the effect of the camera lens, turn this camera lens off, or I can't remember now, turn the camera lens off so it doesn't connect to the something. I can't quite remember, but it does eventually work. So someone else out there is probably more well-versed in using that kind of camera equipment than I am. So I'm sorry that I don't have a better answer than that. And the other, well, I'll answer that one later. So all Lensbaby, and I answered this one, or I talked about this earlier. So that Lensbabies are manual. So like when you get into Lightroom or, in post, you're not going to see, it's going to say 0 under the f-stop. So a lot of people use like their fingers, or they'll take a picture of a piece of paper to show if they need to stay organized on, how they shot their images, like if it was at, f2.8 or something like that. I'm not very good at that, but other people need to know. So other people have gotten really crafty and made really cool little thing and laminated little things, and then they take it along and put it in their camera bag and then pulled it out, and then they can take a picture of that and that says 2.8 and then move on. So anyway, I think that it's when you freelance and you've done this for a long time, then you just kind of know. Well, I remember when I shot that deer, it was at 2.8. So yeah. Anyway, if you have any questions on that, let me know. So this was freelance. And I will talk a little bit about freelancing. I love freelancing with my Velvet 56. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna embarrass myself, but because of how much of a Lensbaby hog I am, but I am a Lensbaby hog. So this is my Lensbaby collection. Can you see them all? My toolbox.
Wow. It's a nice box.
They're all full. All right. And that's how I found that little tip to organize your Lensbabies in this toolbox online. And anybody can join the Lensbaby Unplugged group on Facebook. So this is the Lensbaby Velvet 56. Right. Okay. And I'm going to show you how I free lens with it. A lot of people are curious about this. I free lens with a lot of my Lensbabies. And this is, if you want to get real macro with things, then you just take your Lensbaby 56. It's got a very long barrel in there. So nothing's going to get damaged that way. If it's going to get damaged, it's going to get damaged this way, that way. So you want to be careful with it. Very, very careful. I mean, I don't recommend this. I live, like I said, I like to live in the danger zone. I've always done this, but hey, it's a tool, so I use it. And so you literally take your lens and turn it around and you set it in there and you have a macro lens and it's so blurry. Look at that. And the bokeh is just amazing. So I have done this for years and I would never do it like at the beach. I mean, I know others have live on that crazy side, but I won't go that crazy because your sensor is open. When I used to free lens all the time before I found out about Lensbaby, I would have to get my sensor cleaned all the time, and that's cost a lot of money. But it's a lot of fun, and when you do get a good shot, it is somebody's still writing on here.
There's no one else who's on there. And I've locked everything that I could possibly lock online. In fact, I locked out Blair.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, it was really cool that I was able to get that. You know, when you're freelancing, that was what got me addicted to freelancing. But now I pretty much just use my Lensbabies, but I don't always freelance with Lensbabies. It's just on occasion. I don't like a dirty sensor. So and this is, made my life a lot easier. So anyway, let me get back out of this. All right. So I love, oops. Like I said earlier, I live for nature, and nature is my love. So at most living things. So this was done with an Edge 35, and again, it's all an energy thing. And I just go with the energy of nature, and it's pretty cool. It usually gives me back a whole lot more than I can. I don't know. I'm not. When I go in with a positive attitude, I get so much more back with the rewards that it gives me. So anyway, I have found this tool, and when I'm feeling down or if I just need to meditate, I usually go out in nature with my camera, and it's really cool what I come back with. So again, this is with the Edge 35, just regular old Edge 35. And then this was with the edge 80. And this was a retired lens, but it's come back. This is, it looks like a house bunny, but it escaped somehow and lived in my boyfriend's backyard. And for a little while until I got caught until we could catch it. And anyway, was the sweetest little bunny, and he would let me take pictures of him all the time. So it was so much fun. So this is the Omni System, and I do want to talk a little bit about this because you can put this on any camera. This is the little ring that you can see on here on the picture. The ring goes on to your lens, and that's going to be any lens, and they make step-up systems so it can go up and down on your, whatever lens you have, depending on the millimeters. So and then you can just put the slide on your, it's all like magnetic, so whatever you want to use, and you can use 2 or 3 or 4. You get a whole bunch of those little magnets. You can just, whatever your heart's content. So there you go. You've got all of this really cool crystals and crystal wands and gels that you can add with this little, there's none like it. It's really neat, but I like a little bit more freedom. So I just use the wand with my hand. So I usually never add this little ring, but that's okay. I do have all the crystals, and they're all fun, and they all do different things, and some of them are very colorful, and some of them are just plain white and just add light and lots of glare, and that's really cool. So I highly recommend those if you want that look.
Hey Beth, can I interrupt you a second?
Yes, ma'am.
If you go back up to annotate, go back where it says shared screen, you should see a menu that says more. And then if you click that more menu, it says disable participants annotations, if that is possible from your screen.
Okay. Do I hit annotate?
You can actually do it from the shared screen.
Oh, no, and then hit participants.
You get our participants there. You don't get.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, tell me again. Which?
It says there's a menu that says more, and on that menu it says disable participants annotations. If you don't have it, don't worry about it.
I don't have. If I hit annotate, I don't have a thing that says more.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Okay.
And just want to say hi. Craig is here also. Lots of people are popping in, so just.
Oh, hey, Craig. Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
Okay.
Do you see anything else on the screen?
No, I think we're okay right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And, so each of us, you said each of us is getting a set like this for being here today.
I wish. Oh, I wish. I sure wish. Go get yourself a set.
That's a beautiful set.
And have fun with it. And actually, let's all go shooting with it. Because there's so much fun. But I will say this. The last 2 times I got something from Lensbaby. Oh yeah, that's right. You get candy, and I got one of these.
Oh wow.
And it was free in the box. And they sent me that, and they sent me this, and they sent me a field guide. And this actually is one of the crystals that it's just imperfect. So they have a lot that are just imperfect, and what they do is they put them inside the boxes of things that you buy. So, just a little thing for you guys to know when you buy from third parties is you do get you get the happiness guarantee from Lensbaby, and then also you get goodies, like goodies. Now I don't know how long they're going to be sending out goodies. I don't know, but I mean, the past couple of times that I've gotten something from Lensbaby, I've gotten a lot of goodies. So, and it's not because I'm an ambassador, because I got a gift from my boyfriend, and he's not an ambassador. He got all the goodies in his box. So, just letting you know, that's pretty cool. So moving on. Oh, I wanted to show you a before and after. So this is a before shot, and this is an after shot, like after I've edited it. And I do shoot pretty underexposed, and I bring everything up in post. But this is with the Omni, like one of the rainbow film crystal. It's not really a crystal, it's a film, but it's like has rainbow effects. So I wanted you to see what that looked like. All right. This is another rainbow, not rainbow. This is the stretch wand. I wanted you to see what that looked like on some like dying cone flowers, and thought that looked very hauntingly from Halloween, time. So you can get some very emotive effects depending on what you're looking for. This was a double exposure from the Velvet 56. Again, I believe that I did I can't remember because it's an older image, but I did a it was either pre-lensed or I used a diopter, but I think that this one was pre-lensed. So, but it's kind of a cool effect because you can also, get even more blurry when you do double exposures. So that's a lot of fun. And it wasn't a double exposure in edit, it was a double exposure in the camera. So this one is the Edge 35 and the Velvet 56. So you can see a little bit of how this one you get the difference in like this one's so glowy, and this one is more, you just don't get any glow at all, in my opinion. You get more you just I had the whoops, I didn't mean to do that, sorry about that. You're just getting that, it was a cloudy day, so you're getting all that creaminess, but it's just all the slice of focus down here and then blur, and then here is just so, and I think it must have been wide open, it's just so glowy. All right, and then here I have a are we going to try to do this, Marianne?
Yes, we're going to try to do that. That might be the little hole, but we'll find out.
Okay, we can like come back to it if you want.
No, I think we should go for it so that we can
Okay.
see what's
All right,
going
so I
on.
did do a little video for you guys of how I would do an indoor, it's just an indoor, nature shoot. We'll see how it goes. We had a little bit of technical difficulties here with this, but we're gonna go for it. So Marianne, just let me know if.
Okay.
So this is my setup, and we got all this. Can you hear?
It's a little low. Everybody may want to raise their volume.
It's not, and it's not letting me go full screen, so I'm sorry.
Because it's winter. And I actually have been pressing these leaves since summer. I put them in a book, and they've been pressing I guess now for like 8 months. So that's why they look so lacy. But I've been wanting to do something for a long time with them, and I guess now's my chance. So with this little project, we're going to use a Lensbaby. Oops. Edge 80. It's one of my favorites in the Composer Pro 2. So you can bend it in any direction. And you also have this really cool macro feature, which you can pull out and use as a regular lens, or if you pull out right here, you can use it as a macro, which we're going to do today. So here we go. I'm going to use just a little slight bend. Remember, with these Lensbabies, just a slight bend. I usually use a very slight bend up to the left, like that, and that's it. I mean, literally, it's so tiny, but it gives a nice effect, and that's all you need. And for a nice blur, and right now I'm on f4 for my beginning shots, and I'll show you how we go along the way. My settings right now are the shutter speed is, well, I told you I was at f4, but my shutter speed's at 160, and my ISO is at 500. And I usually shoot so that my darks, oops, let's see if you can see that. So my darks are pretty dark, and I just bring them up in post in Lightroom or Photoshop, because I don't want to miss any details. So I'm going to get a little bit more of that. Get some details in the lacy leaves and the berries.
We know it's a little low. We are taping this, and Beth, we're going to get the link from you when we can.
Yes. It's only 7 minutes long.
Can you raise your volume or check the volume on the Zoom?
I'm also going to change the
I
aperture.
did look at my volume.
8, so we can get some really blurry shots. But when you change your aperture to 2.8, make sure you change.
I don't know how to.
So this is my setup.
That's all right. If you have the link, we can just link to it. That's not a problem.
Wait. Now I went all the way back to the beginning. Hang on. I can't. I don't want to do that again.
Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember where we were.
I usually shoot. And then I'm off.
Were we here? I think we were there.
Just slow down and think about the next shot, and then and all the details. Like the tips of the leaves and the berries. Or the lip of the jar. Like everything has a purpose, so might as well capture it. fun to do when it's really cold outside and you can't get outside. You can make up your own little nature indoors. Let me show you a couple. This is kind of hard to see, but because they're pretty dark. But this was the lip of the jar. These are all the lip of the jar ones. Some of the leaves and the berries. Some of the leaves again. This was me trying to get some of the lacy yeah, that's a better one of the pressed leaves. And I'm gonna go in and edit these for you and let you see them. Right, so that's the Edge 80 and a little nature indoors.
Okay. Okay, so that is a typical thing I would do. It didn't take long at all. I mean, I also really enjoy going outside and cutting all of the berries and the leaves off the Nandina tree and putting together the little the vase. I enjoy all of that. It's very cleansing to me. So the whole thing is really nice. I encourage people to do it. So I'll give you the link to that and you can put it in. I'll probably have to send it to you later. I'm not sure what it is.
That's okay, no
So
problem.
this is just being like at the fair, and I saw this little girl and someone asked another question about, the question was, is Lensbaby a new way to tell stories? I mean, if this doesn't tell a story, I mean, this little girl, I don't know this little girl. I don't know any of these people. I'm at the fair. But when I saw this little girl and I had to capture her face looking at these chicks, I mean, if she is not the sweetest little thing. And I think that the way that the Edge focused right in on that, I was just so grateful I was able to get it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that the Lensbaby does a good job of helping me do that. Anyway, so here's another one. My sons, I had 2 sons, they hate that I take pictures. They hate it. They just totally hate it. But here he is doing a good job of hiding his face. That's one of my boys. And he's a little better when he has his cat. And so that's in the snow with the Twist 60. And it just does such a beautiful job of separating the subject from the background. Yet the background is so cool looking. And yeah, so that's one of my boys. And then working with clients. So I usually kind of do the same thing with working with clients that I do with cats. I mean, it's pretty much the same, but the only difference is I like to get to know my client before I work with them. As far as I email them a lot, I ask them a lot of questions. I study the questions. I study like the area that I'm going to work in. We figure out the area that we're going to work in. So if it's an area that, if they don't decide the area, I'm going to make the area, then I make sure they're okay with the area. So I took her I took this family's photograph like by the river. I made sure that they were okay with that. I went over there. I just studied the area. Um, I make sure I know everyone's name in the family. Um, and then if it's a little girl or a child, usually like this age, I, I usually like, for instance, this photo in particular, and I'm going to use this as an example, the little red flower in her hair. She found it on the ground, and instead of just saying, oh, throw that away, I use that as a way to, oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Do you want to use that as something in your picture because you found that and that's in nature and that's just so beautiful. You can either hold it. I did take a picture of her holding it, and I took a picture of her smelling it, and then I put it in her hair, and so she put it in her hair, and look how happy. I mean, she was just so happy. She just felt so happy that she had found this, and her mom was like so happy with this photo. So if you let the children make decisions, things go so much better. And also use the twist 60 here. And I'm standing on like a walkway that has rocks on it, and the rocks look like magic. I mean, there's no glitter back there. I did not put a texture back there. It is just rocks, and it does that. So anyway, that's another thing about Lensbaby. It just makes rocks look like magic. And here's another twist 60, of course. If you take photos and in front of trees, it's so beautiful. And if you put them in the right place, the trees will look more blurry and like just I just love it. So anyway, I usually use the twist 60 a lot in my portraits. And I just said all that a minute ago. So I do ask my families if I can use art lenses, and they all say yes, because that's usually why they're hiring me. But I use a regular lens, and then I use the art lenses later. But after I get in post, I'm always like, I don't know why I even use regular lenses. And then here's another one. But it's just a couple that's in love, and I think I asked her to like blow in his ear. I think, I usually just say stupid things, and it usually makes couples laugh and be silly with each other. So anyway, that's about it, you guys. I do have a discount code if you want to buy a Lensbaby. It's W Oliver when you go. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. It's W Oliver 10. And I can't fix that here, but
Just write on it with your annotate.
Oh yeah, that's right. I learned something today from the mean people. Text.
And Gina would like to know, what are the art lenses?
Oh, it is an art
Omni
lens.
or the Obscura? Are those the art lenses?
They're all art lenses. I'm sorry.
I think he was. I think. Well, Gina, you can speak.
I don't know how to make the text white. Or is it gonna have to be?
You could go over to Draw, and then you could pick the squiggly pen, or you could pick the text.
There we go.
Format the color.
Got it.
I think what he meant, and I'm not sure if he can hear us right now, but the Omni lenses that you used and the Obscura lenses, is that what they're called, Omni?
The Omni is the Omni filtration or the Omni creative filters. So oops. So I don't know how to get rid of that one, or I'm going to draw like.
Just, you could just go up to Draw.
Yeah, I'm going to just.
And put a line through. There you go.
Green now. That looks like highlight.
Perfect. Just don't move your screen or else it'll all disappear.
Okay, gotcha.
And
All
Beth,
right,
did
guys.
you talk about the Obscura?
The Obscura, yeah. The Obscura is the pinhole zone plate
The new one.
system. Yeah, it's new.
It goes back to 1930.
Yeah, it's old, and that's why the Lensbabies are time. They kind of, somebody said, are they like timeless? Yes, because they are very vintage. They are modeled after vintage lenses. You know, the Lensbaby twist and the Burnside are like pencil lenses, and they are really, they're gonna be, you can't get that from anything else except from the original. So I will say, like, from like the Lensbaby velvets, the velvet 85 and the 56, the 85 is a lot heavier than the 56. So I like to say, if you're looking to get like the velvet, the 56 is so much lighter. It's such a great versatile first velvet. I use it like crazy over the 85. And plus it's a 56 millimeter over 85. Although it's great for portraits, it's great for florals and that kind of thing. It's so heavy compared to a 56. If that's means anything to you, when you're shooting manual, it means a lot to me. But people that that use the 85 will love it.
I have an 85.
Do you love it?
I do, and one of the things I was going to ask you today is to talk a little bit about, and maybe, I don't know if you can show it, I don't think you can do this, but if I could, I want to see the examples of the difference between the 56 and the 85
Yeah.
in terms of output, because I do love it, but it is heavy.
Yeah.
It's actually a very well built lens, actually. In that sense, I don't worry about it too much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it is such a well-built lens, but so is the 56. Do you have the 56?
I don't, and that's why I'm trying
It's
to
just
figure
a mini 85.
So, and isn't there a 35 or a
There's a
smaller one?
28, and I just
28.
got the 28. That was what I got for Christmas. And
Have you used that?
I literally have only used it like once. So I love it. It is beautiful, but it is wide. It's a 28 millimeter.
So you use that for landscape?
I mean, yeah, you can, but you can use it for anything. It's also, you can use it for macro too. It's just like the Velvet 85 or the 56 and the 85. It also has macro capabilities. It's not a true macro.
No, I love that about the 85 because I like to use, I have a macro lens, but I like using the 85. When I have it, I see something, I can switch to that macro. I know it's like a 2-for-1 instead of a 1-to-1, right? But still, it's great for macro too.
True, I know. It is. It's so lovely. But the 28 it just has a beautiful velvety finish
Really?
too.
You also want to keep in mind, I know with my camera, I have autofocus. So when I put on the Lensbaby, I have to turn the autofocus off when I shoot manual.
That is correct.
So it makes a big difference.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have to turn all that off. What other questions do you guys have for me? There is a really cool spark. That's a lot of fun. I love to use that. And I have a suite in there I usually use with that.
Well, how's that different from the Composer though? Isn't it similar in a way?
It's just like the Composer, but you don't get to like lock it down, and you have to literally, this is a lot like freelancing. So you have to the way that you focus is you push it up and you like push it down and you turn it. This takes a little bit more of a learning curve. So you have to push it down and turn.
A lot of fun there.
It is. This is so much fun. So
I like my composer.
So hey, you know the I don't know if you saw the last picture I put of the kid skating on my Instagram, the kid skating on the ice rink. Anyway, well, it's like it's not the very last picture that I put on Instagram, but it's the second one that I put. That's a spark. It's wild. I mean, the sun rays and everything. It's the Sweet 50 and the spark.
Huh.
Anyway, I have a whole lot more from that session, and it's just really, if you like painterly, and
Yeah,
that's a good one for you.
that is an incredible.
But it's quite a learning curve. And this is the remember I told you guys about the vignette on the burn side? Here it is. This is how you control it. Right on the side.
Slider.
It's really cool.
Beth, how do you feel about the bokeh optic set where you have the little mount that you put on? You put in the little bokeh clip.
I have that. The Creative Optic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that.
I own that.
You like it?
Yes and no. Let me explain why. In many ways, it actually is a lot like the double glass optic. And if you didn't actually put those in and you use the double glass optics little disc, it would be very similar. But if with the little disc that you put in to it, you have to have the right background. So like it's great at Christmas time doing Christmas lights. I can have they come out, you can put the star in it, everything looks like a glowing star, which is really beautiful. Or I use it occasionally when I've got woods behind me and the light's filtering through the trees. Then every one of those little places where the light filters through will come through. Like if you want to do a Valentine's with a couple as a heart, you could put the heart one in.
Oh, cool.
Or you could, it's a little bit hokey at times. It depends on what you use it for and how you use it. But there are a lot of places where you can't use it. It has to have the right light coming the right way. And usually that means diffuse through something bright, but through something that's going to give you a way for it to catch that light and turn it into whatever that shape is.
Right.
That makes sense.
And I want to say too that the Twist 60, like a lot of people are confused about the Twist 60, but the Twist 60 comes and this little not even sure what they call this thing, but it actually does, it is not in a composer. It stays straight, and they recommend that you keep this straight. So if you can buy the Twist 60 just the optic, but if you use it, you want to put it in your composer and keep your composer straight. Don't twist it, because it's not going to give you the best effect. So when I bought my Twist 60, I didn't have a composer, so I had to buy it in this. And I just keep it in this, of course. And I can put actually my other lenses in this if I want, and I can put my Twist 60 in the composer. I just don't have a need to do that.
And I only have the composer, and so I use my Twist 60 in there. But you can lock your composer into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a lock on the composer, so you can just lock your composer. Which mine was almost locked in that video. That's why I was having a hard time twisting, because I like to keep my composer in one spot the whole time. But yeah, it was just letting you guys know about that little feature. Another thing people were saying, what is the first a good Lensbaby to get first? Honestly, if you don't, I will say this. I absolutely love my Twist 60. Do you agree, Arnie?
I love my two.
Do you think that that's do you think that that's the easiest to use?
It's very easy to use. But what I
Yeah,
would also say is, remember, if you read about it, you're going to say, look, that it's going to say that you should have a full frame camera, but I don't use mine on a full frame
no,
camera. I use mine on a crop sensor camera, and as long as there's enough distance between the subject and the
the
background,
background.
you still can get that great twist effect. In fact, I've actually taken one or two. I took a portrait and used the twist 60. And at the Alaska, I live half the year in Alaska. At the Alaska State Fair, I actually won second place in the professional
Wow.
portrait division. So it's doable with a crop sensor as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I've used mine on my crop sensor too.
I
I
also
just think I think that the Twist 60 and the Soul 45 are really
nice.
easy to use. So if you're looking for something that's simple to use because you've never used like a manual lens in that sense, I would go there.
What about getting the Composer Pro? Because it usually comes with the edge. And Michael, you were asking if you, or Gino was asking if you could move the edge where you want it. I think
No,
it
that was me.
Oh, okay. Already
Mhm.
you can, because the edge is in the Composer and the Composer bends all around. So you can actually put the edge where you want it, which is really cool. And then you could
Okay.
get the other pieces that go in the Composer.
Yeah, get the Composer Pro and then get the Composer Pro and then get whatever one you want, or get a suite, because the suite you can open it up, and that's another one that I think is a little easier to use.
Yeah.
If you start with one, then that would be a Composer Pro with a suite, like the Suite 50 or the Suite 35.
That's
So if you
depending
buy the
on what-
Composer piece, you can buy the sweet lens and the edge lens separately.
Yes, they're
Yes.
optics.
Yeah, so you would want to start with like a Composer Pro 2 with a Suite 50, and then you could add on.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Is the Suite 50 similar to the double glass, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah. That's the
But
newer
as-
the newer version of it, basically.
right,
Okay.
right, correct. And I did recently find a single glass.
They do make those.
Yeah. But I haven't really gotten to play with it much. But I'm excited I found that. I found it for like $20.
wow.
Yeah, you can find some of the retired lenses for next to nothing.
Beth, can you show us your case? Because
Sure.
I have the small case and now I have too many.
Well, now I also have this case, which is nice. It is one of these. It's like an official Lensbaby case.
Yeah, I have that one.
Okay, yeah, and this one holds these babies. But I don't have room for that anymore, so I have one of these like cases. Can you see that?
Sort of.
Yes.
Where did you get that? Is that
So
a
this is just
tool
this is
case?
like a case you get from Home Depot or Lowe's. And you put tools in it. It's a toolbox.
Wow, it's pretty deep.
So I I do have one other. I have my Sigma lens in here too. If I didn't have that in there, it would be full of Lensbabies. Other than that, that's making it full.
If you can hold it up again, I'll take a little picture of it. And
Yeah, I'll take this Sigma out.
also, I sent out a couple of links of what the Composer looks like and what different things look like. But you want to get, right now, Lensbaby has a great deal. Thank you, Beth. I got that. Plus, you get the 10% off. So if you go to B&H Photo, you're not going to get the same thing as you would with Lensbaby right now. Also, as both Arnie and Beth said, there are other places that you might find them for a reasonable price. If you have a Sony, like I do, you're welcome to try mine and see, how they fit. I think.
And and we will eventually get together and
Do this
shoot
live.
together. And I'm happy to share, how I get my images, and honestly, I don't do anything. I used to do a lot of Photoshop, but I love how I can do everything in camera now. I don't use textures anymore, and it is so nice to be able to just get everything on camera. And now all I'm really doing is some color and light changes in post. So anyway, I look forward to meeting you guys and hanging out and learning. I want to learn from you all too. But yeah, shooting with you guys and would be great.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at the spring. Of course, as a
Mhm.
club, we have different liabilities. We can't invite people just to come to a meeting outside as a club, but as your other clubs,
Mhm.
if you do it with them, just keep us informed. And there are
Yeah,
certain groups that
definitely.
we could go out with in case you do it. But we definitely want to look at the spring or the summer going out and
Yeah.
spending the day.
Which one do you have, Marianne?
I have the Composer Pro 2 with 3 of the lenses. I have the Suite, I have the Velvet, and I have the Edge. And I just bought a fisheye. And
And Marianne, I want to let you know that since your fisheye is one of the older lenses, oh no, I think you're okay. But I think yours is not going to do that. But I do want to say, if you ever do get an older lens, you might have to open it differently or put it into your composer a little differently than, let's say, a newer lens. And I'll show you guys so that you don't sit there and say, oh my gosh, how do I do this? Because that's what I did. And I'll save you the headache.
and we're talking about very reasonable lenses. We're not talking about $7, $8, $9, $1,200, $1,500 lenses. You can get a composer with an edge right now for about $350, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess it would be if you want the Edge 35 or which edge you want, but you're getting the lens and the composer. I bought the fisheye for $99, and you know, I think
Yeah. And like I got this single glass for 20.
yeah, I think you could find them in
So
different places.
yeah, I didn't get it at Lensbaby. They don't have it anymore. It's a retired or legacy lens. But I'm just going to show you how I put this in to my composer. Okay, this is the lens. It looks a little different than what you're going to get today. Like today, this would be an Edge 35. So it's a lot different than this single glass one. That's what it looks like. It has that colorful ring around the edge. Well, the newer ones don't have that. So I'm just going to pop it in there. And then you have to use, in order to tighten that, you have to use the bottom of the case that it came in to
Wow.
tighten it up.
Oh, that's
So there's these little hooks,
okay.
and then you just put them like a, sort of like a screwdriver. And then you just pop it in.
Excellent. Thank you for showing me that. I would have.
Yep. And then you have to use this, so don't lose it. You have to use this in order to get it out.
Okay, excellent. Thank you
Okay.
for sharing that.
You can use the bottom of the case also to get it out, just reverse.
The bottom of this
Yeah, you
case.
can just, the case that, there's a little thing that you use to put it in, you can just use that to turn it out.
Yeah, this.
It's hard to see. Is that, mine's clear, so, okay.
Oh, well, that's the other type of case. But let's say it comes in this case, which it most likely will, because I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like, I don't have one up here. I know what you're talking about. The one that just comes up here, like it just comes up here,
Right.
right? Yeah, that one will work too, but it's probably going to come in like an old case.
Okay.
because it's an old lens. But if it doesn't, it only comes in a clear part. That clear part will do the same thing.
Right.
I've looked at several Minolta lenses.
Okay.
Bought a adapter for my camera, and they do very similar to a Lensbaby, but Lensbaby still has that flexibility where you can move it where you want.
Right.
I think that makes such a big difference.
And this is how you get your Lensbaby in. You just pop it in there. You make sure that that your aperture is all the way out like that, and then you just turn it until it pops.
You carry them in your pocket as opposed to your 400, which you carry in your back pocket, or at least some of y'all do.
Yes, I have like a little like a mini backpack. It's so mini. It's so tiny, little miniature backpack, and I'm able to carry a whole bunch of these in there. But this past year, I've tried to only carry one lens, or at the most two, instead of being bogged down by lenses. That's why you see a lot of times it's just that 35 millimeter or